Live from Happy Valley Studios, this is the MCS1 Show. And now your host, the guy who was never allowed to watch Nicktoons growing up, MCS1.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to another wonderful episode of the MCS1 Show. Caleb is not currently present today, but I have a special guest. I have Kirk Reed from Love Bites Podcast. Welcome, Kirk.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
All right, so today we're going to be tackling the topic of online dating. Kirk, can you tell us a little bit about Love Bites Podcast? That way people get an idea of like who you are and what you do before we jump right into our topic.
Well, basically our podcast is designed, our motto is to help people get in and stay in successful relationships, because every member of our show kind of had a bad experience with relationships, and so we're just like, well, let's sit around and talk about them. So we started talking about them, and this happened.
Sounds like a Friday night in the life of me. Yeah. Every Friday night in the life of me.
Exactly, but we decided to do something about it. So we created a podcast, and we just sit around and talk, and two of us have gotten married since we've done the show.
Nice.
So we feel at least we've accomplished something.
That's good.
Yeah.
So today what we're going to be discussing, everyone, is online dating. And this goes against the March Against Online Media theme for Season 2. And so what I want to start off with is I have a thread, or a Facebook thread, that I'm going to read some of. I don't want to read it all or whatever. But my friend, he posted a while back just as a status, and it kind of caught my eye. It said, "Please comment and be completely honest. What, in your opinion, makes online dating creepy?" And he says, "I read that 1 out of 4 couples today meet online. Everyone's online and connected to social media nowadays, yet many of us still have a huge aversion to online dating. I wonder what makes it so creepy." And before I get into discussing this, I'm just going to read some more of these comments or whatever. One of his friends commented, says, "If you're a creepy person, that's it, end." And then my friend said, "Haha, so online dating is not creepy. The people who use it are creepy. Is that what you are saying?" Smiley face. And then another person.
Smiley face?
Smiley face.
Is this friend a female or a male?
It is a male, actually.
All right, I'm done.
Which is why it caught my eye. Because I expect a girl to post something like this, but not a guy. Or whatever. But he's a pretty cool person now.
Okay, anyway.
And so then a girl comments. It says, "The fact that there are people that lie about who they are, that you have to take their word for it. I won't talk to those who won't meet in public places, or seem too anxious to meet, or won't put up a picture." And then it says, another person, "When someone is very forward and too persistent in contacting you, then it is creepy. If you just send each other a message and casually get to know one another for a while, not creepy. Unfortunately, there are more creeps than normal people." And then my friend said, "I might try to create an online dating website that is not creepy," is not as capitalized, "but that would be quite a feat. So I need to know what makes it all so creepy." So let's just move in real quick. Kirk, do you have any thoughts on this? Okay.
You know, I think it's really interesting because it feels like online dating has this really, really mixed... I'm trying to think of the right word. It's this mixed image. Because you have some people that use online dating and they love online dating, and then you have other people that use online dating and they think it's creepy, and then you have people who've never tried it and suddenly they're experts on it because they've never tried it. But I think the one person who said that people who chat online a lot and then want to get to meet after you chat online a lot, that's not creepy, but people who want to meet right away, that's creepy. I almost feel like it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, I do. I do too. And so my thoughts on this, it's like weird old dudes that message you and say, "Hey baby, I like your smile," or whatever. And so it's like, okay, well now it's like they're sending short messages to catch your attention, or whatever. And it's like those short little messages, but they're not wanting to meet up. But either way, it's creepy. So it seems like it's just like no matter what, it's gonna be creepy. And I completely agree with what you said, that like those people that want to meet up or whatever, I don't feel that's creepy at all, because it's like I don't want to sit there and just have a texting buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
an email pal.
A pen pal. Dear
Dear
friend,
Abby.
dear Abby, Today I woke up,
Yeah, exactly.
wrote up notes for my show. Okay, so
I think before we continue, I just wanted to say I think that online dating is okay. So when you date somebody, you start out by putting yourself in a situation where you can meet somebody, right?
Yeah.
So whether you meet them doing stuff you like, or at school, or at work, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there, after you get to know them, then that's when you proceed to go on to date them.
Yeah.
And so online dating is like that finding people part of dating. It's not
Okay.
necessarily that you date online, but you find people that you can then go and date online.
Yeah.
Which is why I said that it's less creepy for somebody who wants to meet in person, because then that's kind of creepy.
That is rather.
Yeah. So there are some red flags with online dating, but
And I don't do that with regular dating. Like I always try to meet in public places.
yeah, exactly. Even if I meet somebody at a party, then I still don't want to take them back to my place on the first date. You know what I mean?
Yeah. First date, I'll make you dinner in my basement.
Yes.
So it's it's interesting like that. But so what I did was like this really caught my interest. This whole online dating thing, and I'm like, I don't know too much about this. And then another thing before I get into like what I didn't know about online dating and what I do know now. Kirk, is that like 1 out of 4 people meeting their spouse online? Do you know the actual statistic for that by chance?
Let me look that up real quick. I
Okay.
have heard a statistic that
Because
said
I'm curious, like if you knew off the top of your head or anything, because that's something I don't know, but it's like 1 out of 4. That's like 25%. Whoa.
I'm trying to think. Because I know that online dating. I remember reading a statistic that said that eHarmony.com itself counted for 5% of marriages or something like that in the
Whoa.
United States. And I don't want to misquote this, so let me look it up.
Okay, that's fine. I want to say that like I've had some friends that have gotten married because of online dating, and some of them had very successful relationships. However, I have also had some that have gotten married through online dating, and they have not had very successful relationships. So I also want to just tell like a quick story. I have a friend back home from where I am from who does online dating quite a bit. And he has not had much success with it because he says like everyone lies on the internet kind of thing, which, kind of makes sense. Because, who would lie on the internet though? I mean, really. And it kind of made me think like, well, I want to see what's going on. I want to see what the big deal is. I want to see why this is so successful or so unsuccessful. So what I did was I went to 2 different dating websites, which I'm going to just keep anonymous, whatever. And I did about a month of dating on each of them or whatever, or online dating on each of them. And one was free and one you had to pay for about a month of it, which is like the worst $10 I've ever spent, I guess. And yeah. So, I want to talk about like what I did and what happened and what perspired. So what I did for each site was I was completely honest with everything. And I just gave like a little bit of details about myself. I didn't go into like complete in-depth like interrogation style information about me. I went in and I stated my age. I stated that I was vegetarian. I stated my interest. I stated like a couple just random like little cute facts or whatever, like things that I was interested in. Like I'm really interested in psychology. There was a book out there called The Color Code.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and I listed what colors I was for that for people who knew, which was like blue, red, and
That's odd, but continue.
yeah, I thought it would just be something, just like little, like a few quirky things with some serious things, and yeah, and it was kind of fun. I posted some pictures of me. I posted some from the past and some recent, like as far back as 2 years ago, and a couple recent ones. Because my friend, what he said people were doing a lot of times is they would post pictures from like 4 or 5 years ago when they were super skinny,
And now they're fat.
And now they're fat. So I posted some when I was like super skinny, and now I'm like average-ish skinny, I guess. So not looking anorexic.
Yeah.
Like I'd be on some kind of like anorexia poster for awareness poster or something that would be in a high school. So so I posted that stuff. I posted the information, and then I went seeking. And so what I did was I seeked within my local area at first, and then I started expanding outside because I wanted to see what would happen. And I didn't mention to anyone like when I would message, this is part of a social experiment for my my podcast. I just pretty much just like played it cool, didn't let them know anything. And so what I would do is every day I would go through, and for the local area at first, like week 1, is I would find one person who I thought was attractive, one person who I thought was like okay, and one person who I wasn't interested in at all. And I would message each one of them. And I would say like generally, not like the same type of message, but generally kind of.
Yeah, so tailored to the person, but the same
it was tailored
feel.
to the person, but the same general feel. Hey, how are you? And I started off with just like that, like, hey, get to know you type thing. I wasn't like talking about meeting up. And the people who were more receptive or responsive to me with messaging me back were actually the people who I was interested in and that were like fairly beautiful. The average average people that I was like, whatever, not so much.
Interesting.
But the people who were rude to me were the people who I had no interest in and weren't the most physically attractive.
That's interesting.
Which is really interesting. I don't, Kirk, have you ever done any like online dating things or had something like that? I'm sure like everyone else has had an opposite experience.
I haven't done any online dating, but I have a friend who's done some extensive online dating. I actually got married about a year ago, and I met my wife just hanging out with people that I wanted to hang out with in my apartment complex. So it worked out well for me. But with him, he's dated a couple of girls via online dating, and it's really funny because half the girls that he dates, he doesn't want me to meet, and the other half he does. So I don't know that this is necessarily a great indication of it, but the girls that he's brought over, for us to meet, me and my wife to meet, are the pretty girls.
Okay.
And so I don't know that means, obviously I haven't gone into his account and asked him how many of the ugly girls has said, you're a jerk, and how many of the pretty girls have responded favorably. But
yeah, I was just curious if you heard anything.
So, I mean,
else.
Somewhat confirmed, but probably biased.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. But, which I thought it was really weird because I was expecting a complete opposite response.
Mm-hmm.
But like the girls who were unattractive or whatever, there was one of them that was really messaging me, and I think she was I don't know, I think she was doing it because like she felt bad for me, I guess. I don't know. I didn't like give any indications that like I have a horrible life or anything like that, and I don't. But like I think she was like doing it because like she felt obligated, for some reason. And so she goes to the same university I go to. And so I was like, hey, do you want to meet up for lunch?
Just at the cafe or something?
Yeah, just at the cafe or something sometime. And she was like, oh, no, I don't think so. I just use this as a way, as like kind of like the pen pal way that we talked about earlier.
Okay, this is something we talked about online dating on our podcast. And one of the things that we actually had the Dating Digital podcast on our podcast. And one of the things that really frustrated them was this, I just want to be friends. And it's like, well, then why are you on an online dating site? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
If you're looking for friends, why are you going on a dating site?
That's what I thought. And so, hold up. This next thing is like the complete opposite of that. This is going to shock you, I think. I kind of hope it does, because it shocked me.
Good.
But so, I said, well, then, I was like, I was kind of blown away when she said that, and I was like, and she asked, why do you want to meet up, or whatever. And I didn't want to say, oh, because I'm running this experiment for my podcast.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. And so I copped out with, oh, I'm a really busy person and I don't have enough time to go out and like
meet people
is what I said. It was like the best excuse I could think of. And then she messages me back and she says, if you're busy, why are you on this website?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I am busy.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
know.
on this website so that I can,
I guess
save some time.
Yeah, I guess
meeting people.
The people who are on like from this same stance, the people who are on online dating websites are the people with all the free time in the world.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
It's like
which
people,
I didn't know.
people who play video games all day and they just can't keep themselves unconnected from the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was. So when I heard that, I was just like, really?
You're retarded.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. It was just kind of annoying, and she wasn't attractive, and I was just doing it as a social experiment. So I was like, okay, I'm done with this person. And so I went and I just blocked him. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this person. She's nuts.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really fun anymore to experiment.
So I actually found an article.
Okay.
And it is posted by the Wall Street Journal. It's actually a Wall Street Journal blog. So supposedly it should be pretty accurate. But they went through eHarmony touts that it had a role in creating 2% of all U.S. marriages, but later retracted that number. And it looks like that people have claimed that it's as much as 20%.
Wow, so it's like 1 in 5.
1 in 5. But they also said that there's been some confusion with regards to, 20% of couples have met online or 20% of marriages have met online, as opposed to 20% of marriages used online dating exclusively.
Yeah.
And that the only real survey, here I'll actually read this quote. It says, eHarmony has twice commissioned studies from Harris Interactive to estimate the impact on marriages. Both studies used online samples, which is probably, again, a little biased for online dating, to find the needles in the haystack, people who had gotten married in the past year. Overall, the 2000 survey found that 2% of married people in the past year had met on eHarmony, and that the group represented 28% of all newlyweds who had met on an online dating site.
Wow.
So that's only 28%. So I think that means that, multiply that by 4, that's approximately 8 to 10%.
Okay.
So maybe 5 to 10% of people who've gotten married have met online.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's true, but at least Harris Interactive is a third party that has no interest in telling people how much eHarmony is.
It's on the
awesome.
internet.
Yeah, exactly.
It must be true. But another thing I want to kind of cover, that also happened to me while doing this online dating thing, was there was a few years ago before I moved out to Utah. I had a friend who had a friend out here who she wanted me to date. And I really didn't want to date her. She was a nice girl, but she just wasn't
a nice girl,
but she wasn't the type of girl for me at all. And so
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so it was really awkward because I was making this thing for, this experiment, and then you can see who viewed you. And
she viewed you?
And she viewed me, and I remembered her, and I was like, oh, no. Ooh. And so...
Did she message you?
No, she did not. It was just that she viewed me. And I think that was weird enough.
Yeah,
because I think she remembered me as well. And so she's probably telling my friend right now, it's like, I found him. He's getting desperate. He's online dating. And for those who don't know me, my personal life, I kind of glory in the single life.
It's true.
To be honest, I really do enjoy my single life at the moment. I'm sure I'll get married eventually, but it's not really a priority for me. And right now I kind of live in a college town that really pressures marriage.
Oh, it's marriage happy.
It's very marriage happy. The culture here, very marriage happy. And I don't really fall in line with that. And so I kind of get chewed out quite a bit by people for cultural differences on that. But so I guarantee she's probably thinking, oh, he's getting desperate soon.
Yeah, soon he'll come back to me.
Soon, yes, he'll be back. They always come back. And so it's another funny thing is my friend who does online dating back home, he was telling me about this kid. We went to high school with him, and it was one of these friends we had who was really crazy. One time his girlfriend broke up with him, and so he got so angry he went and he punched a tree a couple times and it broke his knuckles and it got all bloody. And then he went and there was this bridge that led out of town that was about maybe 15 feet over water, and he was gonna jump off the bridge into the 1.5 foot shallow water and kill himself, I guess. So anyway, this friend of ours. It was one of these friends in high school that you hang out with just to kind of make fun of, to feel better about yourself.
They're not really, they're acquaintances.
Yeah. You know what? He was an acquaintance, I guess. So, yeah, I guess so. So, yeah. he found my friend on this online dating site. And he's like, hey, man, what's up? And my friend gets this message from him, and he's like, hi. This is not what I want this for. And he's like, what's going on, man? How have you been?
It's like Facebook me.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just add me on Facebook. This is weird kind of thing. So it's like always, I'm pretty sure it's like always awkward when you see people that you know from real life online.
Yeah.
And there was like this girl who I used to live with in my apartment complex, and she was really pretty, but she was like really shy and quiet kind of thing. And I kind of always wanted to ask her out, but I just never did. And so I saw her
interesting
online, and it was like, do I message?
Maybe I'll try.
Yeah, do I message her or do I let it go? Which I let it go because I was kind of a wiener and stuff. When it comes to messaging people I don't know, that was the easy part. But it's like, I don't want to like end up marrying her and be like, this was part of an experiment. That's how your mom and I met. And it didn't even have to last 4 seasons of How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
So
I think they're on season 8 now.
Are they really?
It's something like that.
It's I know it's ridiculous. I've never seen an episode.
Some of them are funny. I like the earlier ones better than the later ones. The earlier ones were more based off of comedy, whereas now it's more based off of drama.
Oh,
so it's anyway,
that's sad. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
You know, I was thinking though, as we were talking, I wonder how much of this. There's a lot of people that say, oh, there's creepy people, there's jerks, there's yada yada yada. How much of that is just because you notice it more on online dating? Like in real life, there's a lot of jerks out there.
Oh yeah, there's tons.
But I just don't give them a chance.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I'm like quite rude when it comes to things like that. Like I don't mess around. Like if they are rude to me, it's like you don't get a second date.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing.
But that's acceptable because if they're rude to you on the second date, then what makes them nice to you when you're married or
exactly
when you get in a serious relationship? Yeah,
exactly. And so like I kind of was wondering that myself. So I also saw that this comment here, which I kind of want to bring up from this thread. It said, "It is a great place for sexual predators to find prey, like everyone is explaining. Not so plainly creeps, old guys, etc., because it is hard to tell someone's motives, but not everyone is, and women just need to learn how to weed them out and not be so trusting. Bad stories scare people away."
But okay, it's kind of like,
yeah,
I think of it like reviews on Amazon.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
They're way skewed towards the negative reviews because you don't hear, like somebody doesn't go onto Amazon, like me, for example. I've never written a review of, well, okay, that's not true. I've written a review of one product that I've ever owned. And you have to understand, I'm a technology geek. And yet I've bought hundreds of products and all of those products I like except for the one that I wrote the negative review on.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like with reviews for anything, like how many people are like, I love this, it's great. And that's why, I don't know, like I don't trust online reviews so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Like especially for movies.
Oh yeah,
I really don't. Especially being a film major, like people will be like, "Well, this got a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes."
I'm not going to see it, or I really want to see it.
Yeah, and you know what? No, it got 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. And you know what movie most recently got a really high review on Rotten Tomatoes that everyone wants me to see?
What?
Magic Mike, which has been out a week.
I haven't even heard of that movie.
You haven't heard of it? It's
No.
apparently about a male stripper
I don't want to see
and
it.
stuff. It's kind of like Coyote Ugly,
But with men.
But with men, and it's a lot more sexual. Yeah.
See, that doesn't even sound appealing to me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound appealing to me.
I would rather go see Brave.
Yeah, I kind of do want to see Brave.
I kind of want to see it too.
Yeah.
We should see it.
Yeah, let's go see it sometime. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Which, by the way, got poor reviews online.
Which got poor reviews online, but everyone I've talked to has loved it.
Yeah.
So,
amen.
I mean, really. So, online reviews, it's like something that it's not really a credible source to me and stuff. And like what we said earlier, it's like, well, it's on the internet. Who would lie? Kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, and also, that's why you take precautions when you do online dating.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the first time you meet in a public place, tell somebody where you're going, when you're coming back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Just take precautions because it's very unlikely.
Oh, he's going to pick me up in his van.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
No windows.
Just go meet him in a coffee shop or something like that because it's very unlikely that a sexual predator Because you can always tell if somebody's being honest by the way that they describe themselves. If they're like, oh, I'm 24 and I'm in perfect physical shape and yada, yada, yada. And then you get to the coffee shop and they are 24 and they are in perfect physical shape, then you know that they're at least somewhat honest.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And then even at that point, if they are a sexual predator, it's like the same in real life too. Like some guys do prey on women like that, but they do it in real life. And I'm pretty sure that there's a equal percentage of people who do it online as opposed to in real life.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be more online for some reason.
Well, but my point is that online dating is easier for somebody to pretend to be somebody that they're not.
Yeah.
And so if they say I'm 24 and I'm in perfect shape, and then they come and they're, 50.
Yeah.
Then that's when red flags go up.
Oh, exactly. Like I heard this. It was a joke a while ago. It's like, and it has to do kind of with sexual predators, but it's mostly with being a child molester. It's like back in the day, all you had to do was get a van with no windows and claim you had a puppy in there and drive down the block. Now all you have to do is log on MySpace.
I know, it's true.
And I mean, technology has really made everything easier for the worst.
Well, and you have to be really careful. I think that the online community has gotten a lot better because people have less time. Like when I was younger, my sister met somebody online and brought somebody to our house, and he tried to rape her in our house.
Whoa.
So
really?
Yeah.
That's not good.
I know. And the thing is he wasn't really lying. He wasn't like he said that I'm about your age. He was about her age.
Oh.
And stuff like that. So he was a pretty honest person, but yet he was a sexual predator. And I don't necessarily want to scare people away, because again, that kind of stuff happens in real life too.
Yeah.
Just use extra precautions online, especially as you're first starting to date, just like you'd use extra precautions when you first start to date somebody,
Yeah. Like, I dated this girl a while back, and like what we did was she was extremely busy, and she had like no free time ever. And finally, when she got a free moment, she was like, "Hey, let's go out." And I was like, "Yes, finally." Cause I've been wanting to date. Like this was like I met her in the fall. Like I met her at a grocery store and I never got her number, and she ended up quitting. And then I met her again about 9 months later, which is really weird, at an office Max where she worked.
Okay.
Or whatever, and we remembered each other. We exchanged numbers, and she's very busy with work and school, but she had like a really bad history with like bad boyfriends and stuff like that. And she's like, "Well, where do you want to go?" I'm like, "Well, let's just meet in a public place." And she's like, "Okay, good, because I prefer that because
yeah."
And so and most people prefer that dating in general. And so for online dating, I'd say it's like definitely more of a plus.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's something like if you wouldn't do anything in real life with people who you really don't know, I definitely don't do it with online dating.
Exactly.
It's kind of what I'm trying to say.
And even take maybe extra precautions.
Yeah.
Like if you're really paranoid about online dating, then have one of your friends bring a date and sit at the same coffee shop.
Yeah. Or get some pepper spray.
Yeah, that too.
Pepper spray.
Yeah.
The rape whistle, not so much. That just informs other rapists that that something's going down.
Yeah, the pepper spray tends to deter people.
Yeah, pepper spray.
Or you can
pretty good.
Or you can get a rape condom.
A rape condom?
You've never heard of those?
No, I have not.
They are essentially a condom that a woman puts in before she goes on a date or before she goes out or something, and they have teeth on the inside. So if a man tries to rape her,
oh wow.
Yeah, and they're in order to get it removed, you have to go to a hospital and have surgery to get it removed, and then you're arrested because.
Oh wow.
They invented it in South Africa.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, if you are skeptical about online dating, we now have a rape condom.
Yeah.
For you that will help you out. How much do those run for?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't done research on them.
Yeah.
I've just heard about them.
Yeah, let's
we'll find that out. No,
let's check the Amazon Marketplace.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, that's enough. But that's really interesting. Crazy. So I heard something from your one of your podcasts a while ago. For you guys were mentioning online dating, and it was something about when a website sets up fake fake profiles. Could you explain that for the people at home who don't know about this? Because I heard a little bit and I was like, that's interesting.
So basically what it is that, okay, let's say that you have never online dated before and you sign up for an online dating site.
Yeah.
If you don't get people interested in you, there's a very low chance of you staying on the site.
Exactly.
And so sometimes what companies will do is they will set up profiles of people that will then, they pay somebody to manage them full time, and then they will turn around and they'll show interest in you on their site.
Yeah.
So that way you stay.
Okay. which is kind of what I'm wondering what was happening with this.
Yeah, so maybe those really attractive girls were...
Yeah, were those. And that was another thing I kind of wanted to bring up later in the show, which is now. But and it's kind of weird because it's like, well, maybe what if it was the less attractive girl who was doing that? Now, for these, do they have multiple pictures?
Some of them do, some of them don't. It just depends.
Because for here, it was a lot of them, they have pictures like general to this area, like places that are and events that are only in this area. Like there's this thing called the Festival of Colors that happens in Utah, and what it is like people throw colored chalk at each other, and things like that. It happens like in other parts of the world as well, but Utah is getting pretty known,
pretty into it,
pretty into it. So there are people there that have pictures of that. Right now, my Twitter picture is of that.
I would say with regards to that, it's probably relatively unlikely.
Yeah,
because usually what will happen is you'll pay somebody, X amount, and they just have one profile
and one picture,
or even multiple pictures, but they're very area neutral.
Yeah.
So there's not like identifying themselves as being from one geographical area, because then they can take that same profile and create 100 of them from 100 different areas, and then be locals in your area.
Photoshop. It's always the same. They're always doing the same pose, but in different places. Here's me at Disneyland. Here's me at the coffee shop.
Why are
Here's
you
me
flexing
at work.
in all these places?
Yeah, exactly. So, one other thing I did like about online dating was either like, regardless of what my friends have said, like like what you've heard about the stigma of lying or whatever, it's like I thought people, like in their profiles, most of the time they were pretty upfront with things. Now let me explain this a bit further. Like when they would say things, like they would list off things that they had that I didn't like, I'm like, oh, I don't have to waste time with you, which was convenient. Like the thing is, I noticed at least like a couple girls that were on there, they said, oh, my friends all say I'm like Zoe Dengel, and I hate her.
So you're like, nope.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I do not want to date a closet hipster that can't act and is really boring. No. And so I just, I would just be like, no, I'm not even going to message you for the experiment.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I do think though that I think that aspect of online dating, is kind of harmful to the dating process, because think about all the people that are like polar opposites of each other. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, when they got together, there was some kind of chemistry there.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're online, you don't give that chemistry a chance to pop up. So like, you're like, well, she's like somebody I don't like. Boom.
I know.
Just
and
razor gone. Never talking to you again.
And I agree with that. But I think the chemistry thing is very important, because like what's always on paper doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. Like, for example, I went on a date a while ago with this girl. It was actually Caroline from the Love Bites podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's another story for another time. But like before, like I met her at a party for my friend, and I was like, oh, she's really cool. And I added her on Facebook, and I saw a lot of her interests like completely matched mine. And I listened to her on the show, and I was like, oh man, I agree with like everything she says. And then I went out with her, and it was not good. Like it was like two completely different people. It was like night and the darker night. And I am not the darker night. And it was like really, it was just strange, because it was like we were two completely different people, even though we had all this stuff in common.
Yeah. Well, and in that case, we would say that you had electricity, but no chemistry.
Exactly. There was a lot of electricity, but there was like negative chemistry. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so, I mean, like everything on paper looked good, but in real life it didn't. And so the same could obviously, like what you were saying, be the same for online dating. Like you could see, oh, this person has a lot of things in common with me, but it's not there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also the same in real life. If you're at a party, you see somebody, you're like, oh, she's really cool. And then you go on a date with her and you're like, wow, something's different. I like how you hang out with people, but not with me.
Exactly.
And I think you have a roommate that's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, I do. I really, really do. And he has a lot of problems dating.
Yeah. Well,
and as well. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. Like he's He's okay alone. I guess because I live with him, other people don't see him as much as how I see him.
He makes a very good impression, though.
At first, he does. Actually, for me, he didn't. For me, he made an awful impression because I moved in and the apartment was trashed.
I was gonna say for you,
it was
nobody makes a first impression.
No one really does make a good first impression, and it works the same way. Like with other people, most people they either when they meet me they either hate me or they think I'm gay, or there's a slim chance they like me.
Yeah.
Did you hate me or think I was gay?
I like everybody, dude.
Yeah, you like everybody. So you're not the best person to ask.
I mean, really, in order for me not to like you, you either have to repeatedly do terrible things to me or just do one terrible thing right when I meet you. Like try to take the girl that I want.
Yeah, that makes...
Just kidding.
That makes sense. A lot of these online dating profiles, which I thought was really interesting, these ghost profiles, as we'll call them.
Yes.
Yes. They all said the same thing, but no one would message me back for those because I messaged those ones and they had one picture kind of thing, and I thought that was kind of lame. But another thing was for these profiles was my friend set this up for me kind of thing. It's really because my friends they wouldn't really do that. They wouldn't do that for me or really anything like that or anything period. Come to think of it, my friends aren't that great. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. And they never listen to my podcast. But what do you think about that, Eric? Would you do you know people who would do that? Is it that really annoying lady who would it be that really annoying person who's always trying to set people up at work kind of thing? Is it that's what the equivalent of this is? That now they've gone internet?
Maybe, because I was thinking about it and I was like, my friends would never do that for me either. But it's more out of respect than out of ignorance. You know what I mean? I can. But
those people who are always trying to set people up,
or
the same time people have weddings for their cats and dogs, as well. That they're already kind of out there.
I can see them. I can see them encouraging you to set up an account, and I can see them maintaining an account that you did set up. But I really have a hard time seeing them.
Would they pay for your account?
No.
I don't think my friends like me enough to buy me anything. I'm trying to think of the last time a friend bought me lunch. Yeah. I think my roommate has.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
We made some, what was it, beef and broccoli? No. Chicken something with the
making food's different than buying.
That's true.
Than buying lunch, though.
That's true.
I think the only person is my roommate, who's also on the list.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, Neil Rogers.
Neil.
O'Neill.
What a great guy.
I know. Didn't he pay for your no, not Bajios. Rubio's.
He's bought me Rubio's once, I think.
Yeah.
And we go back and forth on buying pizza. But anyway, moving on. We're going to wrap up. Just a few quick things on online dating. Just my final thoughts. It does have a pretty bad rap. But then again, so does, I guess, regular dating. I think about it. And the more I think about it, it's just with online dating, it's just regular dating, but you got to use more caution and protect yourself a lot better as well. And yes, it has a bad stigma, but lots of things do. And it's and if you do this online dating thing, it's not like you have to stick with it. And it's also you don't have to tell anyone either. I mean, because it has such a bad stigma. It's that bad experience at summer camp. You don't go off telling it all the time. Kind of thing. It happened, but you don't have to tell anyone. So, do you have any closing remarks that you would like to say regarding online dating, Kirk?
Just, again, I want to reiterate, be cautious. Meet somebody in a public place. Tell somebody you're going to meet somebody that you met online. Tell them when you're going to be back, yada, yada, yada. But then also, remember that online dating isn't necessarily the entire dating process, but it's just finding new people that you can date.
Yes.
And...
It's a tool like anything else, It's like a hammer. You can use it to pound nails or
kill your dog.
You can use it to kill your dog. That's not what I was going to say, but I guess that works. All right. Thanks again, Kirk, for coming on. It was good having you here. And once again, I am MCS1, and until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.